This is Incident in Jeema Act 3 TR Path. If you don't recall what path you're on, or just want a quick refresher, click the end card at the top of this video right now. It will, in a couple seconds, it will send you straight to the ending of Act 3 TR, the ending of Act 2 TR Path, and that will just give you a quick little recap of what last happened. If you haven't seen Act 2, just go to my channel. The end card will pop up now, and Act 1 will pop up a couple seconds later after that. Click those if you want to see the rest of the story. And we begin. I suddenly awakened to the sound of Toru's voice. "Ichigo, get up, we gotta get to school." Her voice stricken with panic, I jolt upwards as a natural reaction to see what's wrong. Her words took a moment to completely register in my half-asleep brain. Today is Monday. The weekend ended. Though I may be incredibly tired, I throw the blanket off of myself and make sure I have my phone on me. "I gotta get you home," I yelled at Toru in a panic, my mind in a daze. I can't think straight, the effects having just woken up linger. "I'm so sorry, I forgot to set an alarm," Toru apologizes to me. Before I respond, I start to fully regain my consciousness, the drowsiness no longer affecting me. I very well could have done the same, so if anything, this situation here is both of our faults, but I gotta get going now. Toru doesn't walk me out of the house, instead she closes a door to a room behind me. My phone buzzes, and so I take it out of my pocket to check what the notification was. "Ichigo, are you okay?" I had around 20 texts from both of my parents from early this morning. They were asking where I was and if I was doing alright. It hit me like a truck that I had forgotten to let them know I was staying the night at Toru's. I put my phone back in my pocket without responding. I need to focus on getting home first. So I take a detour that could potentially get me home faster. While I'm not too certain, it's a risk I'm worth taking. Across the street from Toru's house, off the side of the sidewalk, opposite the road is a line of trees and bushes. Now across the street from Toru's house, along that line of trees and bushes, is what seems to be a man-made pathway into a dark, forested area. Though if my memory serves me right, if I just keep walking straight forward, I'll reach my house. And so I head in, moving tree branches out of my way, half hiking through tall grass to get to my house. The forest area slowly opens up. Roughly halfway down the path, I am stopped in my tracks. There are virtually no trees around me, and the grass was rather short in this area. I turn to my right. The sun peeks over the trees that are far off in the distance, mixing the sky with red, blue, and orange, along with the white puffy clouds that are also painted with both red and pink. The scent of flowers fills my scent. The scent. I sniff in once more. A putrid smell. Something which smells like death permeates through the air. I don't want to know. I don't want to find out. I don't want to be here. It could just be an animal. I turn back to the left and continue running where I was headed. I didn't want to be there any longer than I had to. The beautiful sight of the flowers and the sky was ruined by what seemed to be the smell of rotting flesh. The situation puts me on edge. But I quickly pick up my pace to a sprint. I still have to get home quickly. My mind puts itself back on the field. But not the smell, rather the view. It was pretty enough to stop me in my tracks. I wonder, what might it look like at night? Maybe I can invite Toru out to a picnic there, or a date. A date? Why would I? The thought of taking Toru out on a date to the flower field makes my heart thump hard against my chest. The field slowly turns into a forest again, and shortly after I get out, met with my house just across the street. "Ichigo, you're okay! Thank God! You seriously had me worried that we would see you and ourselves on those news reports soon." What news reports? I pause before saying anything else. My mind quickly tries to connect dots before I even really think about it. News reports? Me being missing? Then could that smell outside really have been from a dead body? I put myself back on track. "You know what? I gotta get to school. See you later," I yelled whilst taking my backpack and shoving everything I needed into it and rushing out of the house. "Be safe, please," I hear my parents yell out. I didn't have the time to respond, however, as I had closed the door to my house the moment after I heard them. I managed to arrive to school on time. I sat down at my desk, entirely out of breath, with Toru next to me, who got to school before I did. Neither of us spoke to each other for the rest of the school day. We both sat next to each other, completely dead. We were both far too tired to really think about any topic of conversation. During lunch, we talked a little, reviewing and going over what happened in the game we were playing last night. I can't deny that, in the week we've known each other, talking to one another has become so much more natural. She hasn't quite come out of her shell yet, as I'm still the only person that she talks to in school, and the teacher stopped calling on her after the first day she came in when she clammed up. The school bell rings reverberate. The school bell rings, reverberating painfully in my ears. It was a good way to wake me up, even if I don't quite want to be awake in this moment. Throughout the day, I only got progressively more tired. Toro and I get up from our desks, quickly packing our things, getting ready to leave. Once we leave the school, I start up a conversation. I'm feeling super tired after yesterday. I really struggled staying up during class. How about you? Oh, yeah, I saw you dozing off a few times. Toru gave a repressed laugh, as though she were trying to shake off the fact that she was falling asleep too, while I am fairly certain she did fall asleep. Well, I plan on getting some good sleep once I get home. Same with me, but I'm also just glad I got to finish that game with you. Toru smiled, even if it came at the cost of falling asleep in class. Toru pauses. Regret seems to loom over her. I guess I can't be not paying attention given my current situation. Hmm? Oh, it's nothing, but I'll be seeing you. As Toru says that, I realize that we had reached the fork in the road, where Toru goes to the right and I to the left, each to our own houses. I feel some disappointment linger at our departure, but the thought of getting to bed helps me to get over it. See you. Toru and I wave goodbye to one another, likely with the same things in mind, both how we don't want to leave one another and how we just want to go home and sleep. I open the door to my house as I typically do after a school day, though today I'm a bit more sluggish than usual. My parents welcome me back, but seem a bit apprehensive, as though they wish to tell me something. What I had smelled in the field of flowers and what my parents had mentioned this morning comes back to mind. Could it be something about that? Is there something serious going on in Jeema? My mom is the first to speak in the room, stopping me from going up the stairs as I was just about to. Ichigo, do you walk home from school with anyone? Well, yeah, I walk home with Toru about three-fourths of the way home. Why does she want to know? My mom and dad seem to pause and think for a moment before dismissing me, telling me I can just go to my room. While I want to know what exactly is going on between my parents, I ultimately decide just not to ask. So, with the conversations with my parents from this morning and just 10 minutes ago linger on my mind as I lay in my bed. News reports? The only possible thing that I can think of is either there's been a kidnapper or some sort of prison escapee, though if that were the case, I'd likely hear about it around school, at least in passing. Maybe it has been, and I was just too tired to notice at school today. Maybe it has. Whatever the case may be, I'll keep it on mind, but I won't rack my brain to try and get an answer. It just isn't that worth it. And so, 3 days have passed, and I'm here walking with Toru back home. My parents told me I should try and get home as soon as possible, so that's what I have been doing. Though it isn't different at all from how I usually get home, my parents seem to be far more at ease knowing I'm moving quickly. Instead of the news reports and how awkward my conversations with my parents seem to have been the past few days, a new problem plagues my mind, much more than the one with my parents. How badly I want to invite Toru out to go to see the flower field I saw just 4 days ago. For some reason, unknown to me, I just can't get myself to invite her. Every time I get close to doing it, my body stops me. Up ahead is a split in the road where Toru and I part ways every day. My time with her in this moment is coming to an end. My gut starts to knot up. I've hung out at her house multiple times at this point. Why is this so difficult for me to do? Hey, Toru! I pause and don't continue. I slightly lift my hand and move it towards Toru, but I freeze up. Yeah, what's wrong? Toru turns to look at me, with a slight look of concern on her face. Why do I have to freeze up now? How is something so simple so difficult for me to do?